The Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hi, I was wondering if someone could help me with a question I had.
Okay, you a Jehovah's Witness, or you just want to ask a question?
Oh, just asking a question.
Okay, what is it, please?
Well, I was researching into the organization because somebody asked my daughter to do a study. They were kind of trying to get her to be interested in it, so I was just kind of studying the origins and the history and things. And I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about it. I was kind of surprised by one thing I saw, that Jesus chose them in 1919.
Oh, the one that's going to be the one of the anointed going to heaven with Jesus to rule as king and priest?
No, that they were the only true organization in 1919.
What publication did you read that from? Or was it on the website or?
I don't know if that is on there. It says that in the annual meeting report that the faithful slave was appointed over Jesus' domestics in 1919.
Yes, the domestic, yes,
And they said in those publications of that time that Jesus chose them in 1919. When the governing body, well, it was like their leaders got out of jail, and then Jesus chose them, I guess.
Yes, they were in jail here in Georgia at the federal pen.
Oh, in
yes.
Georgia? Oh.
Oh, yes, I was staying as Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we don't take part in the government because our government is in heaven ruled by Jesus. And so they were locked up. They closed our, if that's in the article too, they closed our organization at that time.
Wasn't it for sedition that they were in jail?
But we're not seditionists, though. People accuse us.
Well, in that time, though, the way people used to look at it, if you preach that the government is about to be destroyed, they might think you're like a revolutionary or something. And I think that's what it was about, wasn't it?
Yeah, they do accuse us of that, but we're not. We just tell you what the Bible says.
Well, to go around telling everybody the government's about to be destroyed, I mean, you can see where people got that idea. But anyways, what I wanted to ask you about is, so Jesus chose them in 1919, but then I found out, like, what they were teaching about in 1919 was that it was called, this thing Rutherford preached everywhere. It was called Millions Now Living Will Never Die.
Oh, yes, that's true.
So Jesus chose them when they were teaching something that really wasn't true. I mean, it didn't pan out. But why would Jesus chose them when they were teaching people that? He taught it like all around the world.
Well, millions now living will never die.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up those scriptures, that means that there are going to be some that are going to heaven, 144,000. That's in the book of Revelation 14:1 and other scriptures. Also, there's going to be a great crowd of people that's going to live on the earth forever.
I guess you're not understanding my question. To go around teaching people that millions living right now will never die physically is what he was saying. And he was saying that the end was going to begin in 1925 with these like Old Testament guys coming to San Diego.
Okay, that could be an old magazine as well. Cause that was, this is 2017 now.
Right, but that's what he was preaching about when Jesus chose them. I mean, Jesus warned over and over again about false prophets. So why would he choose them if they were saying that? Because obviously there's no millions from 1920 that are still living that never died. They're all dead.
I agree with you 100%. Millions of people have died since then. But however, there are millions of people on the earth today. So that scripture come on down to our day. There are millions of people with the billions on the earth that would never die, because billions of people are going to go, if you serve God faithfully, according to the Bible, you do hope to go through the great tribulation without dying at all.
Yeah, that's not what he was talking about. He was predicting the end, He was predicting the beginning of paradise and the end of Christendom and the resurrection for 1925. He wasn't saying that, if you're a believer, you could be resurrected or go to heaven. And then they had this house in San Diego, and he was teaching that in 1925, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were going to come there.
I don't remember that article. I got
Yeah.
baptized in the 70s. I have to do some research on the article. Have you read our latest information where we have, through God's Holy Spirit, did more further research? Since we're not perfect. But we do want to say what is true.
Well, that wasn't true. When Jesus chose them. And you know what the book is that you can read it in? And you can find it maybe in the library or on the internet, because they don't like people to look at their old things. They don't kind of want the newer people to know what they used to be teaching. So Rutherford's book is called Millions Now Living Will Never Die. And it has all those things in it about Abraham coming back in 1925 to this house in San Diego.
Okay, I don't recall reading that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I just don't. I'm just me. I don't recall reading.
They don't really like to talk about that anymore, which is kind of understandable, right? It's kind
of. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But with your daughter, does your daughter is she's an adult or she's a teenager?
She was a teenager at the time. It was a little while ago, but yeah, she wasn't interested at all. But it was through a dating thing. She was not interested at all. So, yeah, but I was looking into it. It kind of started me on a path of looking into it. And I love theology and history anyway, so it's pretty interesting to find out the true history. Like if you look on, are you guys allowed to look at like encyclopedias?
Oh, yes, we look at encyclopedias.
Oh, great. If you look up Jehovah's Witness on Wikipedia, it has everything about the history. I mean, it'll blow your mind,
Okay. May I suggest you look at our website and see what we say as well, jw.org?
Oh, yeah, I've looked at it. Yeah, I've looked at it.
Okay. Instead of that's why we're looking at other information, encyclopedia, which we read those too.
Yeah, good.
Especially when it comes to Christmas and Easter, those are not even in the Bible. But however, we read other materials as well, other magazines.
That's good.
I mean, we're open-minded. We respect all people.
Well, I find some Jehovah's Witnesses actually very paranoid. Like at the carts, I just wanted to ask them about this one quotation, if they could check it for me, if the Watchtower really said something. And they acted like they were afraid of it. Like they wouldn't take it. And I was like, this is like really strange. They're so paranoid. It was just from their own book. It was just a printout from something from the organization. I just wanted to see if they would check for me if they really said that. It was about telling people not to seek any career in 1969 because they would never grow up. So they acted like they were, I don't know. I mean, you seem a lot more open-minded, like you would look at Wikipedia and see what they say about the history. So I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much for calling. But continue to, if you want to know more about us, you can ask us. I mean, this because those sisters, was the sister or brother that you saw, or maybe talk with someone else as well, another witness. I don't know why I wasn't there. I'm not saying, I know you're telling the truth, but I'm just saying I don't know why they could be new to the organization. I don't know. I really don't. But if you still want to know more about us, about what year you're talking about, talk to another one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Have we knocked on your door recently?
Oh, no, they haven't been here in years. Do you still go door to door? I haven't.
Yes, we do. Are you in an apartment area where we can't get in, or a subdivision that's gated?
No, not at all.
Oh, well.
I haven't even seen them in the neighborhood at all. But we do have some of those cart plate things at where they have their magazines and stuff. Maybe they're just doing that instead. I don't know.
Oh, we go. I just went out, not today because I was in a car accident.
But today you were?
No, a month ago, so I'm still recovering. Some 18-wheeler hit me, so I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
But yes, we still go from door to door. We make phone calls. We have the carts. I do the carts at model stations. So, you want to call us back, or we can get your number, or call back and maybe talk to an elder. But back to that year you're talking about, I don't remember reading that information. I can do research on it because we have a library here.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 1879.
Oh, so it goes that far? They probably might have that book, Millions Now Living Will Never Die.
Yes. Would you like to talk with one of our elders about that year, please? What's your name, Miss?
Christine.
Christine, I'm Fanny Walker. Hold on, please.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, it's Pat Rivers.
Hi. I was just talking to her about some history because I was looking into the organization, and I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. I was just kind of surprised at things I was seeing about previous teachings and stuff like that. Like Rutherford was saying teaching everywhere that millions now living will never die, and that was in 1919.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that wasn't true.
Okay. Well, if you want to answer to your question, the best thing to do is, are you a media person?
Media?
Are you news media?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, okay.
That'd be a fun job.
Okay. Well, I tell you, let me give you a number that where they can be more equipped to answer your question. Our headquarters.
Oh, well, you know what? I had a question one time, and I called the headquarters, and they said they don't take questions anymore, Bible questions. I thought that was odd. They told me to write a snail mail letter.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It sounded like they just didn't really want to talk, but that's okay. But I was just wondering what you thought about it. You know how Jesus warned about false prophets a lot?
And on top of that, they said that Jesus chose them as his organization in 1919. So why would he choose them when they were teaching a thing like that?
Well, as far as mistaken thoughts,
No, it wasn't a thought. They were teaching it everywhere. It's even in a book called Millions Now Living Will Never Die. And they were saying that it was from Jehovah, like meat in due season. So that's way beyond a thought that they had,
And so, do you feel pretty sure that nobody who was living in 1919 is still alive?
Yeah, you think so? How old would they be? And certainly, it didn't say just one person would still be living. He said millions now living will never die.
Okay, and that quote that was made. Do you have the article where it was in? Because sometimes the context will be able to clear things up.
It's pretty straightforward. It's called "The Millions Now Living Will Never Die" is the name of the book. But he was teaching it in 1918 and 1919. And then "The Harp of God" is another one that Rutherford wrote. Have you ever read any of his books?
No.
Oh, they're wild. Oh, you should. They're pretty interesting. Yeah. So, you could find him expound on that in those books. And I don't know. He even said that these dudes from the Old Testament were going to come to San Diego in 1925. So he had all kinds of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, and unless I see it, I can't be sure that whether what exactly. I can't talk about something unless I can see it and read it.
That's on page 88 in Millions Now Living, page 88, that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were going to be resurrected in 1925. And they didn't come, so Rutherford moved into that house in San Diego, California.
Yeah, I don't that history. I don't know anything about.
Oh yeah, well, it's important to research the origins of things. The Bible Teach book says that.
Well, I mean, what I look at now is, and we as Jehovah's Witnesses, we're clear about our, needing to adjust our understanding of things. We have had to do that in the past. Jehovah's Witnesses used to celebrate holidays, years ago, in Bethel. Used to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, I think they were doing that when Jesus chose them also. So Jesus couldn't have been that opposed to it. But anyways, then what would a false prophet be? You're saying that there's no such thing because anybody can just adjust their views. How would you define it? Deuteronomy 18 warns about it too. Says that if someone says things in the name of Jehovah, which they have, and they don't come to pass, don't listen to them because they're not speaking for God, So you just scrubbed the whole test of a false prophet by saying, well, why can't anybody make an excuse for it like that then, You're saying
Well,
there is no test for a false prophet.
well, it doesn't
But the
sound like you
Bible
want to
says
listen.
there is.
It doesn't sound like you want to listen to what I have to say.
I did.
So I'll thank you for your call.
Okay.
And you
Well,
have a good day.
a
Okay.
great website is called
No
jwlove.org.
thanks.
And God bless.